times, isn't it? Particularly if you are Catherine, the Princess of Wales. You know, the bottom line is everything she says, does, issues, becomes a public statement, dissected over, picked apart, and then, you know, you've got to go through the sort of rudiments of daily life when you're going through a terrible situation like she's going through. And as often said here on the show, it's a strange thing, isn't it? Because so many millions of people, sadly, around the world are going through the very same thing. And of course, they're not highlighted as much. But as I often always say, you know, we always wish everybody the very best here on the show. Everybody who's got an illness, an ailment, not feeling their very best, we all have days like that, don't we? So imagine the intensity if it was literally made public, and that's the situation that we now find ourselves in with, of course, Catherine, the Princess of Wales. But on a lighter note, there's a sort of, I think, a nice fun story to share with you, because it's kind of fun, but, you know, well, let me just tell you anyway. The bottom line is really this. I was speaking to a very close associate today, and as we now know, Trooping the Colour is coming up this particular weekend, and it's the official birthday of His Majesty the King. Told you before, it's a wonderful event actually when you go to see it. You know, literally there. I'm lucky enough to be part of the press team, but when you're there and you see it and you feel, you know, the atmosphere, and it's a free event, you know. Where else can you see such wonderful spectacle and stuff like that, you know? All those brilliant people in uniform, on horseback, all a pageantry, and you think, wow. And then, of course, topping that over with the wonderful flyover, which then we normally see our wonderful monarch and, of course, the rest of the senior royals on the balcony, which is just a wonderful event, as I say, to attend for free. So if you are in London, do check it out, and you never know, we might see each other. Absolutely. Are you bringing the biscuits or am I? Well, we'll argue about that later. But at a good point, let me just tell you this, that I've been told that basically Catherine is pushing hard for this. She would like the three children, that is, of course, Princess Charlotte, Prince George and Prince Louis, to attend, particularly alongside their father. Now, here's where it gets a dilemma, and it's the same sort of dilemma really for any parent, isn't it? You know, according to that source, Princess Charlotte feels naturally very protective over her mother and doesn't really want to leave her side much, taking this sort of chief role, as it were. Now, for those that have seen Princess Charlotte in action, we've seen her directing George, we've seen her directing Louis, haven't we, in things like Westminster Abbey. She's one of those people you can see a little bit Princess Anne, I would say, definitely in charge of whatever situation is going on. And on a more serious note, doesn't want to leave her mother's side, as one can imagine. But apparently Catherine is pushing forward and saying this would be good for the whole family, and of course for so many people who would now wish once again to see the royal children taking part in something so splendid alongside their father, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. But there's another dilemma as well, let me share with you, because Prince William has now got this dilemma from his eldest son, Prince George. Prince William, you see, will be attending the England's Euro 2024 match against Denmark at the Frankfurt Arena in Germany on June the 20th, and it's been confirmed by Kensington Palace. The visit by the Prince, who is the president of the Football Association, comes after he met with the England team during a visit to St George's Park on Monday. Now, as we know, Prince George is a huge football fan, likes attending alongside his father, and apparently has been nagging for the opportunity to go over on that particular trip. No confirmed yet as to whether George has won his argument, but I'm sure, like all children, if they push hard enough, somebody will crack and crumble. Am I right there? As for the other wonderful event this coming weekend, let's just hope, of course, that they take their mother's good advice and, of course, stand alongside their father, the Prince of Wales, and what is a wonderful, spectacular royal event. Fingers crossed, eh? New Sean in the very heart of London.